Hello everyone. Thank you for this introduction. I am Savin. I don't normally read because my voice is not pleasant to hear, and the other thing is I am dyslexic, so I'm not a good reader. Yeah, so it's difficult to read from my short story collection. For one thing, it's very vulgar. You can't say certain things, and I don't want to say things out loud. That's why I wrote them in a book. So it's difficult for me to read when I'm invited to these events because I don't know where to pick, and it's like picking your favorite child in a way. So yeah, let's go. Okay, the first one itself, I think. Okay, so yeah, I'll just talk about the title for a moment. So Katakata, which is gossip room and idle talk. It's basically what I wrote. Conversations I overheard on the bus, things I eavesdrop on. If some friend comes and tell me, okay, this happened, and I put it into a book, and then change the character that my person, the person who told me couldn't recognize himself or herself. So that's how I basically won the Gratian Prize as well. I don't know how that happened, but I'm here today. So I'll read from this short story, which is called Oedipus Rex on his honeymoon. It was his decision to bring his mother on their honeymoon. Was it a decision made with conviction, willingness, and thought? Probably not. Anyway, it was his decision. Yes, it was my decision to bring my mother on the honeymoon. People like to analyze and ultimately criticize decisions taken by other people without considering the process that led to it. It was completely his decision to bring her on our honeymoon. He always used to say that I was marrying him, not his mother or family. But there she is on our honeymoon. Am I upset? Of course, it is weird even in this country where mothers have full access to their children's lives. Even here, honeymoon is out of bounds. The place they booked was a secluded little cabana in the mountains called Keep It Secret. Suren was first attracted to the place's name and its online offer. He thought the idea of an isolated cabana on top of a misty mountain was nice too. But the name and the offer was exciting to him. Out of this world offer, he called it at the time. Okay, so for one thing, the offer was attractive, and I have already spent a fortune on the wedding. One should learn from one's mistakes. Plus, when I showed the place to Ramya, she jumped off the satire. She's very much into bohemian ambience, although I can't understand her fascination with the subject. For me, everyone is a bohemian in this country, except for people who have a good inheritance, a roof over their heads, and a business to run down to the ruin. Anyway, she loved the place. She knew nothing of the offer. I loved the offer and knew the offer, and that's why I brought mother with us. The offer was attractive but also similarly odd. The offer was for three people. Who creates hospitality offers for three people? Who travels in packs of three? Elephants are the only eligible candidates that I think of. The Tumpatrayana. Within the herd, baby elephants are nurtured by a family unit known as Tumpatrayana. This close-knit group consists of the mother, her baby, and another adult female elephant, typically the mother's sister. This trio forms a strong bond, ensuring that the calf is lovingly nurtured and protected. But they rarely stay in secluded cabanas or go on honeymoons together. When he showed me the place, I got up from the settee quickly, literally jumped because I forgot to turn the gas down on my. Sorry, I'm laughing at my own writing. Sorry, that's narcissistic as hell. I forgot to turn the gas down on my Malu Ambultiala, Sri Lankan sour fish curry for dinner. When I returned from the kitchen, he had already booked the cabana. I didn't mind it because I very much liked the landscape. In the mountains with no one around, I felt like this was not what global citizens are allowed to do in this modern world. It made me feel like a boho. This is when I learned that his mother was coming with us too, which made me doubt the sanity of my new husband. Ever since the passing away of Suren's Appocha, the term commonly used by everyone to describe him, his mother hasn't talked or expressed herself that much. It was not that alarming since it was normal for a widow to grieve. Suren, being the good kid he is, didn't want to leave his mother alone. He was the only child. Appocha died a month before the wedding. Everyone thought he would cancel it, but he didn't. You can buy the book and read the rest. So, yeah, that's that. And I'll read from another short story because there are 13 stories here. I just wanted to give you a flavor of the book and also just, yeah. Uh, Let me see. Yes, so this might this might make me sound or seem to you as obsessed with sex, but I'm not. So this I can't tell the name. I think I can tell it's a Kunhar word. The name of the short story is Who Can Allow. Yeah, I guess I can tell. That's fine. Yeah. So I read from this as well. She was shy no more. After A levels, it was like she was a completely new person, as if she had shed her introvertedness like a snakeskin. She was very sensual and loved public affection. Also, the language she used when we were practicing our love was different. I mean, it wasn't completely different. She didn't talk in Sinhala. She talked in English. Well, not English exactly. It was a blend between English and Sinhala, blend between sex English and Sinhala. Sex English, I suppose. I liked it. The words in Sinhala, when it comes to sex, are very off putting, not romantic, and very industrial, very harsh in sound. What I always thought was that the Sinhalese loved having sex so much so that they didn't have time or energy to talk about it. So the words used to talk about sex slowly faded away. This is my assumption, by the way. It's not. That's why when no, that's why when normally we talk about sex, it ends up being foul instead of sensual. To describe love, we have an enormous number of words and phrases, and even more words and phrases to describe bliss or satisfaction, but not sex. The government that ended the war, and most importantly, who built this expressway, used the dictum Bahujana Sukhaya, Bahujana Hitaya, welfare of the many, the happiness of the many. They represented the many for sure, at least at that time. The government was just re elected after the war ended and now was heading to make Sri Lanka the wonder of Asia. Spoiler alert, we didn't make it. Yeah. No, I can't read that, sorry. Yeah, it's very difficult to read from that particular chapter, but I wanted to read from that. So, yeah. Uh, I'll read something sweet, which is about love, which is very similar to sex, but different as well. So this is I wrote this to my girlfriend, who's my fiance now, and she's sitting right there, and she's embraced at pointing me pointing at her because she knows that she's the fiance of the guy who's reading about sex on the stage. So yeah, I wrote this, and I was like I need to once again narcissism. I wrote a love letter to my girlfriend, and I thought this is way too good for only me and her to read. I need people to read this, so I put it in a book. Yeah. So I'll read. Yeah. The chapter is called A Love Letter, not the chapter, the story. To Rishni with 4 years of concentrated love. When you're a child who is learning to count, 4 seems like a lot, and it feels like you are just a couple of numbers away from infinity. But you find out that you are very much still at the beginning. This is how I'd like to illustrate my time with you. Time is really relative when you are a child and when you are in love. It feels like I have been with you for an eternity, but it has only been 1461 days and still counting. The best part is that there is no end. Not even infinity can limit my eagerness to be with you. With you is a wonderful phrase in language, in any language. In reality, it is an even more wonderful place. It's not simply beside or around you, it is much more persistent. It is alive. From the moment I heard your voice, and I meant not the voice of your mouth but of your soul, I saw everything around me coming to life. The sky became a painting with the emotion of a painter, the waters transformed into portals of imagination, the very earth morphed into the walls of your beating heart. So I had to be gentle to the world. One can only become gentle when one finds out that everything around is alive, even the very earth they step on. It's not the Big Bang that gave life to the cosmos, it was you, just 4 years ago, the muse that inspired my world. The time of our union might be short on the grand scale of things, yet why does it feel like we are old souls old and new to be exact, a paradox that I cannot comprehend. A nostalgic newness. It was like our love was here roaming the cosmos before we were born, just like the stars, the moons, and the suns. Our love, a celestial being, waiting for us. Somehow I feel like the most difficult time it had from all those eons of waiting was the last 20 years. The 20 years we both took to find each other. It must have been agonizing for our love to see both of us growing apart from each other. Dance in the dance of fates alone. No worries though, we found our love. Or did it find us? These are questions I leave to the cosmos. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. I had to get that part in there, otherwise people would be like, what the hell was that? So I won the audience because of that. Thank you, Rishni. Yeah, okay. Another one. Yeah. This is called Walk Then Run. This is one of the stories I actually loved writing, and also I think one of my most underrated stories as well. No one has come up to me and told this is my favorite story. But I think, yeah, I love this very much because I don't know, it felt really easy to write, I think. Yeah. Just a context. So, in this short story, Walk Then Run, there are two religions. One religion is walk, and the other religion is run. No other religion survived. These are the only two religions there is. So, Tushar, Gayatri's husband, was a devout follower of the religion of run. In his household, every action was performed with meticulous precision and grace, adhering strictly to the teachings of his faith. From eating to sleeping to intimate moments, everything was done with a sense of ritualistic reverence that bordered on obsession. Speed was everything. Gayatri found herself resenting these practices imposed upon her by her husband's faith. The elaborate rituals and strict adherence to tradition felt suffocating, leaving her longing for the freedom and simplicity of her own beliefs. However, she knew that in a world dominated by runners, people who practice the religion run, deviating from their customs would only lead to public condemnation and persecution. Unlike walk, run has only one yamshi. In run, it's not known as yamshi, it is known as yajiri. The holy yajiri of run is fear. You practice run because of fear. Despite her inner turmoil, Gayatri complied with the rituals of the run faith, performing them with outward compliance while inwardly yearning for the spiritual connection she once felt in her own religious practices. Despite the changes forced upon her, Gayatri's walk never lost its grace, its rhythm still echoing the holy yamshis that once guided her every step. And though she may have strayed from her faith, the memories of her skip walks of bridging joy and butterflies remained etched in her heart, a reminder of the sacredness of every moment she made. The holy yamshis are not the most important part of the walk. The yamshis were just there as a guide to walkers to achieve the ultimate form of walk. The walk home and the walk from home are the ultimatums of the faith of walk. As fate would have it, these two ultimatums can only be achieved by a walker by birth, a reluctant runner by marriage. This is how it is mentioned in the Great Chronicle. Gayatri was the perfect candidate. The society Gayatri was living in was a very progressive one, even though it may not seem like that. Women were free and were expected to work in this society. Pull your own weight was the slogan of the common people. This slogan came into being in a society after all the traditional forms of religion around the world collapsed due to the advent of colonization. Yeah, I'll stop there. Do I have time to read one more? Am I boring people? Is it? Okay, one more. Okay, great. So, sorry about this. Okay. This is a bit long, but I'll try to finish it quickly. So this is from my final short story, which is not the final one, which is called a Leyland, which is basically the setting is a bus, a Leyland bus. Yeah. So that's the setting, and this Actually, I wrote this on a bus as well, and on my way to work. Yeah, this is the final part of it. It was a curious accident scene. The emergency workers who came to the scene expected a lot of bloody imagery. Of course, there was some blood splattered around also on the bruises of the injured passengers, but six bodies that were lying on the ground without any movements looked peculiar. They had color around them. It seemed to be a colored liquid, different colors from one dead body to the next. Also, they seemed to have flowed onto one another, combined to make new colors. It had the consistency of blood without its color. It was like visual effects in a PG rated movie, which cannot show blood. It was an explosion of color, like a painting by Van Gogh. It was beautiful, strange, but beautiful. A woman with a prosthetic leg had a maroon colored blood like liquid around her, which had mingled with what seemed to be the orange blood of a young woman with a smudged bindi beside her, forming a rust colored blend in places. The office lady with the paperwork bag still clutched in hand was found with blue liquid, which had mixed with the yellow liquid of the conductor nearby, creating patches of green where they overlapped. There was paperwork and coins scattered all over the place. A little further away from the rest, a pink liquid sample was observed from a man dressed in a khaki trousers with a belt, blending with purple liquid from a man dressed similarly to the other man, but his hand had been ripped off from his body. He seemed to have been holding on to something with vigor. The combination of the torrent colored liquids has resulted in a delicate lavender. A monk who was getting ready to get on the bus that is now toppled and dismantled, witnessing the accident. He was waiting with a few other people standing beside the familiar black pole with a blue colored square piece of metal tilted to create a diamond shape with the silhouette of a bus on it painted in black. The monk gasped in shock. He was shaken by the very things he was training not to get shocked by: death, disaster, and suffering. He had given into Atalodhama. In theory, he knew that life was unpredictable, but now he has encountered an epiphany that shook the foundations of his reality. The epiphany was that he was about to get on the same bus that now lay shattered in the middle of the street before him, with people dead and injured. He could have been inside that bus if he had woken up at his usual time. The monk wanted to go near the accident scene and help in some way he could. There were already so many people gathered around, helping the people out of the toppled bus. It was his curiosity to see what happened, which combined with his compassionate heart, that led him near the accident. He was on his way for the blessings of a young girl turned woman, so he had some blessed water. The blessed water was the reason he got up later than usual. He was up all night chanting Pirit to bless the water. In a way, the blessed water saved his life, and this realization made his faith even stronger. This also gave him the idea to spritz some blessed water on the dead bodies. He had this strong urge to do this, and no one would stop him. He wanted to do this to help out the souls of the deceased, to help them to go somewhere blessed. The monk took out the small glass bottle from his orange cloth bag. He poured some water into his hands and started sprinkling the blessed water from his fingers. Something strange happened. Don't worry, I'm going to finish it. I'm not going to tease you. As soon as the blessed water droplets touched the blood like liquid that was flowing out of the dead bodies, all of them turned red. It was grotesque. Now it was undeniably blood. The colorful Van Gogh painting turned into a Jackson Pollock painting done with human innards and dark roasted blood red. The monk couldn't handle it. He recoiled and vomited instantly on the flowing blood. The glass bottle slipped from his hands, hit the tar road, and shattered into so many pieces that even exceeded the time of samsara itself. Thank you.